Oh, no, I don't have any questions. I know what it is. And I said, we were just commenting on the idolatry. And he was like, this isn't idolatry. I said, well, I have all these people here praying to this statue.
Catholics are teaching their parents to worship idols.
So I would call that excessive veneration, especially when we have imagery or a picture of the Pope. He's actually kneeling down to a statue of Mary.
So they're kissing a statue of what is supposed to be a graven image of Jesus.
They took men that were humble and made them into little deities called saints.
That's not Jesus.
And they're all facing the statue.
I thought that the statues around churches were proof of idolatry. I thought that candles burning in the churches were proof of false religion. I thought that art was unnecessary. The depictions of people who were dead were not only unnecessary, but they were actually wrong, because it could seduce us to worship them instead of God. But I was wrong. And here's why. The tragic events that happened recently have rightly hurt people's hearts. A man who spoke very important truths in a dark time was killed. I'm not making this video to manipulate his story into an argument for Catholicism, but rather to express something I noticed. Because what I noticed was that we, in our collective humanity and love for the goodness that this man brought into our world, did many things in honor of his memory that struck me as significant. Within hours and days, people had made art in his honor, murals, paintings, drawings. They proposed statues be erected. They proposed a national holiday. They held vigils and lit candles while they prayed. None of this constitutes worship, though. I don't know anyone in their right mind who would claim that anyone who made a mural or prayed at a vigil with a candle was therefore worshiping him, because they're not. And this is why it got me thinking so much. Because our world is now so irreverent, does that really mean we've forgotten what reverence feels like? Outward expressions of reverence look foreign to us now, and therefore they feel off-putting or sometimes extreme. But when something like this happens, we are somehow moved, almost out of instinct, to practice reverence again. In an article about reverence, Dr. Donald DeMarco wrote, "The irreverent person lacks the ability to subordinate himself to anything higher than himself. He is a prisoner of his ego, constantly looking for things that are self-satisfying. Acquisition, achievement, and prestige are of primary importance to him. In his exclusive preoccupation with himself, he deprives himself of enjoying the wonders of creation. Reverence requires self-forgetfulness and silence. It allows us to be awakened to the beautiful things that exist beyond the reach of our egos." When this tragic event occurred, I think much of society forgot themselves. The moment was so impactful that something was awakened for many people, many saying they are now going to take God seriously and go to church. Something beyond our egos was reached, and when this happens, our reverence is also awakened. Therefore, what this did show me is just how natural it is for us, in our heart of hearts, to want to express ourselves in reverence by creating or by using the physical world around us as an outward expression of our reverence. Our art becomes a message to the world. Our statues become a story. Whole days become a dedication and a remembrance. A candle becomes the symbol for hope. If you're someone who, like I was, thought one of the reasons Catholicism must be wrong and was scary was because of statues or art or candles, then maybe now we can see why we don't actually need to be afraid of that. The heroes of our faith, the people who lived lives that we all wish to imitate, the saints on the little prayer cards, we aren't worshiping them, and they do not replace God, but rather they point us to Him by the way they led their lives, the way they spoke and acted. The art in the church is a message to the world, a message of undying love, of fierce faith, and eternal hope. The statues tell the true stories of these people prevailing over evil. Whole days are dedicated to the remembrance of these people lest we ever forget, and we light candles that symbolize the light of Christ burning as we pray. None of these physical things are what we worship, but they are instrumental in our worship because they can express our reverence for the people who love God, the God we do worship. God bless everyone. I promise you, it's beautiful here because Catholicism is not scary.